Awesome. Welcome, everybody, to the second edition of the Funtico Community Night. Today, I'm joined by two very special guests, our COO, Mr. Tal Amram, as well as our CCO, Mr. Doron Wesly, who might be having a little bit of technical difficulties at the moment. So with that in mind, please, guys, give a warm welcome to basically Tal and Doron. And Tal, since Doron is experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties right now, could you please give a quick rundown of your background to our audience?
Sure, Sven. Thanks for having me. I'll do the heavy lifting for now until Doron will join us.
Sounds good.
So just as a background, guys, in the last 20 years, give and take, I've been managing software companies, media companies, and startups. For the last 6 years, I've been to crypto. My previous company was actually a company that did a gateway from Web 2 to Web 3 in the space of fintech. And I think that what we do today with Funtico is quite similar because we provide also a gateway for Web 2 games into Web 3 space, doing it, I believe, in a very smart way. And the concept is to enable any player, whether it's a Web 3 experienced one or Web 2 casual one, to seamlessly play Web 3 games, and alongside that, to enable basically as a B2B on the other hand, any studio to onboard his game, Web 2 game, and become a Web 3 in a matter of minutes. So that's the background, that's the concept. And hey, Doron, how are you, man?
Awesome. Thank you for that quick rundown. Oh, sorry, Doron, I cut you off.
No, it's all good. I just said hi morning to Tal.
Okay, perfect. Doron, while I have you here, let's just maybe test out your connection a little bit. Could you give us another quick introduction of yourself and what you do at Funtico? I know we spoke last week and you gave us a deep insight, at what is basically your role in the company. But for everybody tuning in, maybe for the first time for the second episode, if you could just give us a quick rundown, please.
Good morning, Sven. Thank you so much. I'm Doron Wesly. I run commercial aspects for Funtico. Work closely with you and with Tal, and I'm excited to be here. I'm in New York City. I apologize for the bad connection. We clearly have not yet mastered the 5G epicenter in New York. We did, but for whatever reason, it's not working today. So my apologies for the bad connection.
No worries. At least we can hear you loud and clear. So, the image might be a little bit choppy, but we can hear you perfectly. So that's good enough for me. All right, guys. Now to kind of kick off the event and to kind of do a little segue into the main topic of conversation that I would like to have with you guys today, which is AI and what sort of developments Funtico is doing on that front. Tal, if you don't mind, I would maybe like to start with you. If you could just give us kind of like a high overview of the R&D currently at Funtico and what the tech team is kind of working on in terms of AI implementation.
Fair enough. So at Funtico, we try to utilize what we call off-chain and on-chain activities. Our approach is a hybrid approach. I mean, you don't have to do everything blockchain oriented just for the sake of doing blockchain. And obviously, with our company, you cannot have everything like a Web 2 or an off-chain option. So it's a mix and match and a hybrid solution of it, or mixture of it. And basically, the company is ready. It means of going live, as you probably saw, guys. Our games went live. We had a tournament. We had an NFT sale. So in means of technology, company is ready. Market conditions is something else that we're evaluating, where the company is ready and the technology stack is bulletproof in a way. The AI part of it, to be fair, you see that some companies use AI as a buzzword or as a hype and say, yeah, I'm a shoe store with an AI. I'm a real estate with an AI, because it sounds nice, right? That's not the case with the company, with Funtico, because the concept is, how do you utilize and harness the power of AI in order to provide better fairness, better security, better monetization, better players' experience, better personalization? So in earlier times, you can do it without AI, and it's okay. But today, the power of AI enables you to do it A, quickly, and B, in a more creative manner, to be fair. And that's why we embedded AI in various pillars. Okay, and each pillar basically covers something, and we branded them because Doron knows branding is important.
For
So we
sure.
branded them, guys. We've got great names. Even I don't remember them by heart, but the branded them. We've got Shield Guard and Insight Pulse and Craft Hub and lots of fantastic names. But behind those names, there's an actual meaning,
Okay.
actual purpose.
Okay, and if you don't mind me asking, maybe if I'm not in the wrong here, and if it's okay for you to talk about it, but since you already mentioned branding, could you mention also maybe to the audience what did we kind of like go with in terms of naming this AI layer for Funtico?
Yeah, so the entire layer is called Brainy AI. Brainy
Okay.
AI because that's how we believe the mixture of maybe brain and AI combined. But as a concept, it's layers and that covers again different pillars. I'll give you an example, Scott. With a gaming company, I think that the most important thing is fairness, right? Now with Funtico, you don't play against the house. You play against yourself or you play against others. So to ensure fairness, we have to ensure that you're not playing against bots. That we don't have people with double accounts. That people didn't sell their accounts. That there's no case of malicious activity. So that no one that cannot play, for instance, will limit the age to 18. Will limit certain activities. Will limit. So in order to make sure that the fairness is maintained, and no one is maliciously using the platform, we embedded an AI tool. Now, I would give you our methodology of AI tools is not inventing everything ourselves. I mean, there are things that we should invent yourself. The algorithm is important. The IP is important, and some stuff use something off shelf. So our approach for the entire concept is a mix and match.
Okay.
Some is internal development, some is external tools that we've adapted, of course, to our own needs. But player fairness, what we call Shield Guard, is I think the most important AI tool that we'll implement initially, and that's basically the first thing that we built.
Okay, awesome. So thank you for that rundown. Now, Doron, if you don't mind me asking, based on the stuff that Tal is kind of like revealing to us, in terms of like what's being done behind closed doors on the development of Brainy AI and all of its basically features that are going to come live with Funtico. Oh, he dropped. Never mind. I'm going to
still
go
here.
back to you, Tal.
Yeah.
No worries. But yeah, my main question was, you already mentioned some of these features, so basically like the protection against basically bad actors on the platform, and just kind of being able to scan a lot of this potentially, like malicious stuff that could be happening on the platform. What in your mind is just maybe kind of like the highlight, and like what do you think could be the best use case for this type of AI technology in gaming, like for example with Funtico?
So there's different types of, and I'll give you a few examples with your permission. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Doron, welcome back. So the fairness of games is one thing. Fairness, I would call it fairness plus security plus compliance plus. It all comes down to one part that we called it Shield Guard, and that's the concept of what the part that we want to ensure fairness for players. Okay. But if you look at AI, it's much bigger than that.
For sure.
Okay, I'll give you another example. As a company, as any company, you want to predict churn, right? You want to see what happens with players. And if a player, for instance, played Formula Funtico, which is a great racing game, okay, but maybe didn't like it, and we can predict according to our internal algorithm that maybe he didn't play for a few days, but he still has a balance, and maybe he doesn't know that we have like the additional 70 games. So with Funtico, the interoperability enables him, it's inherent, and it enables him to pass his balance from game to game. So we can tell him, okay, we didn't like that game, try another game. By the way, it could be our game, or it could be an external game that we took from another studio. So if you do a churn prediction right, basically what happens is that as a company, it's good for us. Obviously, I'm not hiding that, okay? But for the player, It's also important because we give him a better experience of, we noticed that, so we offer you another thing. Okay, so the interaction with him is different. The catalog of games that we have enables us to do so. So the power of AI in this case, by the way, it's obviously internal and it's an algorithm that will be based on multiple parameters, and then we can offer him something else maybe. So it's another type of how do you utilize AI within Funtico. Another one, for instance, we all know that personalization is an issue, right? I want to personalize my car, my sword. I want to have another skin. I want to have something which is mine, right?
Yeah.
Now we can offer within our marketplace the option for any player to choose another skin, choose another sword, choose whatever you'd like. But I'll give you an example. What if I would enable you using existing tools that take text to image, so you can create whatever you'd like? I want my sword to have I don't know, a blue handle and a green medal, whatever. I want to have the skin of my car, have my wife's name. Okay,
Yeah. Gotcha.
whatever you want. So with that, by the way, that's called Craft Hub with us. Craft Hub as a concept enables you to personalize NFTs, to personalize items, to personalize skins. So you can take that and based as a player, you feel much better with the personalization experience that you have now. And it's not like I'm telling you, okay, go to a designer and design something with a red handle, right? I'm telling you, okay, it's easy. Just like you're using Midjourney or using other tools, just put a prompt and have a new type of asset.
Awesome. So basically, what you're saying in a nutshell, apart from this technology being leveraged by us and the company to, kind of like extract as much as relevant and valuable data as possible, at the same time, it's going to become a very useful tool for the users and the community because it's actually going to enable us to improve the quality of their experience of the platform as a whole. Correct?
Exactly. If you look at it, it has to be a win-win, and in our case, by the way, a triple win. Because, for instance, some of the things are actually aimed for studios that want to publish their games with us. So when we provide tools for ourselves and for the studio and for the players, it has to be a triple win. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense, right? That's how you embed AI that makes sense for gamers, for their experience. For the one of the tools that we've embedded is what we call Midas Touch. The Midas Touch, for instance, is a tool that helps you define monetization as a studio.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, as a concept, Funtico is on one hand a B2C company because we approach players with games. On the other hand, we're a B2B because we enable studios to onboard their games. So some of the tools that we embed have to approach studios as well. So some of the AI tools actually help studios as well. But again, if it's not a triple win, no one will use it, right?
It doesn't make sense.
So it has to be a triple.
Gotcha. Thank you for that insight, Tal. Now, Doron, since I see that your connection is a little bit better right now, a little bit more stable, if you don't mind me asking you, based on one thing that Tal mentioned at the beginning of his presentation, which was basically, this kind of like he highlighted the fact that Funtico, is not just using this AI shtick as a gimmick, to kind of like hop off on another trend or another wave or whatever you want to call it. And you kind of like being the CCO and from your perspective of business development, what do you think is the major implication of AI being introduced to a lot of these digital products nowadays?
I think that, first of all, thank you for that question. I think that there's many implications that help us become better as a company. A lot of the tasks that AI is doing right now, it's taking items that typically require a lot more time to analyze, requires a lot more creative thinking about different sources of data to kind of try different permutations to get to a particular point. And what AI enables us to do is to get there faster and provide us with different options in order to analyze the information so that we still have the creativity of people looking at this information, but we've got a support structure that enables us to do it faster and processing a lot more information. When we're talking about even just looking at traffic patterns and trying to understand are these real people or not? Normally, something like this would require a lot more manpower to really go through all of those aspects, and we may not be able to necessarily combine all of the different data sets. Whereas with artificial intelligence, we have just more ability to bring in other data sources to see if we can get to a better answer of whether this particular person is real or not. The same thing with gaming. I think that as you're building a CRM system to try and understand what games fit a certain persona, with artificial intelligence, you can implement that more quickly and more, more in real time as users are coming in, as players are coming in, and they're coming in as a hyper casual gamer. We can start seeing certain behavior that may have been hidden because we didn't look at specific AI is enabling us to quickly and test different scenarios out. It's not taking away the great work that the team's doing. It is enhancing the work that we're doing, and in certain cases, helping us automate certain steps so that the experience ultimately is much better, whether it's personalizing a skin, whether it's personalizing a racer, whether it's personalizing a character. It just gives us a lot more ability to provide that one-on-one interaction with the player as they come in and start making the games feel like their own. And I think if you think about the whole concept of what we're trying to do as a company is, and this is where AI comes in every single step. One, we're trying to make sure that it's secure and that we're talking about real players. That an AI enables us to do, right, by looking into where is this person coming from, and is this a real behavior? And then once they're in, be able to actually understand, okay, are there any elements that you already own as a person that you want to take into the world of your game in order to personalize it? And I think that is a very unique concept. Right now, if you go into Meta's Quest, Oculus, or whether you go into any of the other items, you can create your own avatars and you can personalize a lot of things, but it still requires you to do a lot of manual aspects to do that. And you cannot bring anything that you already own and then try to digitize it. It's very difficult. And that's where AI enables us to do that, because you can take a 2D NFT, which is flat, and create a 3D character that normally you can do with people. Nothing wrong with that. We can have a whole team in a wide range of places around the world that are taking that 2D NFT and making that into a 3D character. AI takes it one step further and then enables us to do it on the fly, quote unquote, and enables us to provide a lot more customization to it because of its power. So I think that what AI enables us to do is get us closer to our mission, which is provide an ultimate gaming experience where you've got a wide range of games that enable people to play what they love, and also allow them to explore other titles and other games genres that they're not necessarily familiar with, but actually will like because of the behavior that we see, and enable them to really feel like they can start owning more parts of the game, whether it's a character, whether it's a background, whether it's an environment, whether it's a wide range of gems or packs or loot packs that they can actually use for the game. And I think that's what makes this concept so exciting as we're building those layers into it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that, Doron. I have a follow-up question for you, just in terms of like kind of like your day-to-day stuff, and you being like very tightly involved with the business development at Funtico. How would you say like the people that you're interacting with, trying to like build partnerships with, what is their response like in the current landscape of crypto, and with kind of like everything that's been going on with all of the trends? How appealing is this AI layer, to people who you talk to on a daily basis?
It's very appealing to them because they want to see a couple of things. A, they want to see that you actually have a product to work with, a service to work with, which I think in our space, in the crypto space, you have a lot of great people with great ideas who are trying to build it, but have yet to actually provide a service that actually can be utilized. So that's the first layer for them, right? The first step is, wow, they're working with a team that actually exist in Poland and in Ukraine and Israel and the Netherlands and in the US that are not just building it, but already have built the entire platform, and it's working right now today as we're speaking. But in addition to that, they are acutely interested in seeing how do we apply AI to make the platform more secure and more and enable for more customization to happen. So for a lot of people, whether we work with NFT projects, which is a great way for us to build communities. You know, we worked with Mars Cats, we worked with Dokubi, Dokyo, we worked with
Lazy lines.
many others. You know, for them to actually see that we can use this AI capacity to personalize it for their community, that lights them up. And then for other people, you know, whether it's like a Scale or an Avalanche, or even like gaming guilds like Kagan in Brazil and India, it enables them to see how we can take a game and really personalize it for them for a tournament that they do amongst their community. And so I think that that's
Sven, I think we lost Neil.
what the best way is to distribute a prize. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. One point to add on what Doron mentioned earlier, which is a good point, is the customer service part of it. You mentioned the CRM. Doron, with us, man?
Yeah, I think there's a little lag, but yeah, Tal, you can go ahead.
I think so. So two other implications of implementation of AI is what we call game body and support field, meaning that you can take the power of an AI to support players, to tell them how to play, to support them using even bots on questions. So supporting a player is also super important. Now, if you ask about business development, then in such a case, if you come to a studio or a partner and tell him, listen, we've got an AI that helps you with monetization and with customer support and ensures fairness and ensures anything against bots and enables your players to create NFTs on the fly and stuff like that and skins. And so obviously they like it, because if you think of it, I don't know any other solution that offers all of that, right?
For sure.
On top of that, by the way, we can also use the power of AI for development. As you know, lots of developers use AI for development.
Yeah.
So that could be something that is utilized by our own team, or even again by the external team that uses Funtico to onboard their games. So again, it's if you look at the ecosystem that we enable studios and players using those AI tools, then that makes sense to them, and that's why they like it, like Doron mentioned.
Okay, awesome. No, yeah, that gives a lot of context and background to the things that we're trying to achieve. So thank you, gentlemen, both of you, for your answers. Now, seeing that we're at the 25-minute mark, and I've pretty much asked everything that I wanted to ask in terms of stuff that's very Funtico oriented and Funtico specific. I would just maybe like to use this opportunity for everybody watching and listening to remind them to basically go visit us at Funtico.com, try out all of the games, create your profile, and basically stay in tune with all of this stuff that we're going to be rolling out. Because as Tom mentioned, this Brainy AI stuff is still in development, but it will be on the platform very soon. So, you don't want to miss it. So make sure you keep coming back to basically stay in with all of the insights. Now, to go into this more nonchalant part of the conversation, and this is basically going to be the segue towards the end, I would like to maybe, Tal, I can start with you just to ask you maybe a little bit of, what are kind of like your very general, not related to Funtico, not related to what you're doing in your day-to-day business stuff, but kind of like, how do you perceive, this rapid development of AI? And basically, what do you see are the kind of like the pros and cons of, us moving into this, kind of like AI augmented reality, if we want to call it that?
I say it's a very wide question, but in a sense, I think that it's the most booming specter for the last year and a half, give and take. I think that if you look at the adoption of it, I mean, if you look at the amount of people that started using ChatGPT a day later, we're talking about billions, right? So
Yeah.
it's huge numbers. So the nice thing about AI is that it fits any, I would say, person, even not even someone with technology orientation, not someone that is very skilled to create anything. If it's an image, if it's just asking question, if it's a plan a trip or whatever it is, so it fits those everyone basically. And on the other end, we all look at the dangers of it. I mean, what will happen if AI will rule the world, right?
Yeah, we talk about
Smoke
singularity all the
missile,
time,
do
right?
everything
Yeah.
by phone. So the implementation of it in various sectors could be very impactful. The issues of it is something that is still evolves. I'm not sure that compliance, by the way, will stop it in means of this is the do's and the don'ts. Even though if you look at it, some of the AI developers themselves say limit us, give us limitations. We don't want to do this and that. Stop us whenever you think that it's too much. But I think it's one of them. If you look at the evolution of web, from web to web 2 to web 3 to whatever, I think that AI is one of the biggest revolutions that we're experiencing. And I don't think that we know where we could go. I hope and expect good places. But again, to be fair, I don't think anyone knows.
Okay. Thank you. Doron, what are your thoughts on AI in general?
Listen, it's what's booming in the U.S. for the past 2 years. The second most valuable company in the world is Nvidia, as you guys know. The amount of servers and chips that are being, bought from that company is showing you the amount of investment that goes in. We're talking about between Nvidia and between Microsoft and ChatGPT, as well as Google with Gemini and with Elon Musk and XAI. There's a tremendous race in terms of getting it right. And there's regulations that's coming, and where you see companies starting to have self-regulation in terms of like making sure they mark what is AI and what isn't AI, and starting to work with news organizations about how to use their information for the scraping purposes. And there's a lot of focus on what can be done, what cannot be done. I think that everybody recognizes that this is a pivotal time in our industry. It's a generational shift that's going to happen, that's going to impact just about every person on earth in some form or fashion. And obviously we tend to always think about the doomsday scenario, what is going to happen if, and what if it's going to take my job away, or if it's going to create a very dangerous situation for us. But while that's important to keep in mind, I think that it's unleashing a new century of computing capacity where we're going to take this world to, which is we have yet to really understand what's going to happen to us. It's going to be really good. There are some predictions where the revolution that's happening right now is going to become an evolution where all of us will be in some form or fashion connected to this information, and we'll be having on demand when we need it. And so there's a lot of talk about where does it, what space does it take, and how is it going to impact us. We're all in it to mold it right now. So Sven, I am very bullish on it. I'm very optimistic about it. I don't see it as a negative thing. I see it as something that is going to help us become better and stronger and hopefully more united as a species. So I'm very bullish on it, Sven. I'm excited about it. For me, it's not a buzzword. I'm learning every day on how to become better in prompting questions and queries and using it and trying things out, and not being afraid to fail, and also not be afraid to say to people, this part comes from AI, this part is coming from me, so that people can recognize quickly, like, when do I use it and when do I not use it.
Sven, I'll give you an example, by the way. I think that any development of humanity did not take positions. I mean, the ones that know how to use the tools are the one benefiting. And I don't know if you know it, in the last, I think, 60 years, there was only one job that was eliminated by technology. Do you know what it is?
No, please tell me.
An elevator operator.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The guy that sat on the elevator pushing the buttons because people were afraid of coming in and using it. That's the only position that basically was eliminated. So once you have the tools, you can benefit from them if you know how to operate them. I don't think they will replace humanity and replace people and stuff like that. Having said that, in some jobs, again, they might help or might diminish the use of human interaction in a sense, okay? But I think that if you use it historically wise, it never replaced humanity. Whether it's engines, whether it's computers, or whether it's whatever you can think of.
For sure. So what both of you are kind of saying, is like having the tool is only half the battle, right? You got to be able to kind of like wield the sword in a proper way to basically get the results that you want to get, correct? Awesome. Guys, we're 33 minutes in, and I'm not seeing too many Q&As for this session. And I know
maybe because it was that we're clear, or maybe because no one understood what you're talking about.
maybe we'll see. But either way, I know both of you are very busy, so I'm gonna thank you here for your time and thank you for kind of like dropping into the second episode with me to basically just give everybody a little bit of more context and insight into what we're doing at Funtico on a weekly basis. So again, thank you very much, Tal, for joining us today as our special guest and shedding light on the developments on the AI front. And Doron, a pleasure having you as always, and getting your inputs on the discussion as well. So before I kind of like let you guys go, is there anything you would like to share as maybe like part of your closing words for this for the show?
Oh, go ahead.
Thanks for having me. Doron, maybe no, I'm just thanks for having me, guys, and Doron, you can conclude.
Awesome. Doron, you got any last words?
Come play fantastic games with us. We've got some tournaments right now. Try them out. We have Formula Funtico. You can play Heroes of the Citadel, the demo, and we've got some new exciting tournaments happening as of next week. So come to Funtico.com, have fun, and get rewarded big time.
Perfect. Guys, you heard the man. Again, gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Thank you for spending the time. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again on one of the community nights that we'll be having. So many more to come.
Wonderful.